Good morning. It's about 7 a.m. on June 17th, and the weather is heating up, like really heating up. And so the best time of day is first thing in the morning with my coffee to get out in the garden and do some work. Last night we were able to stay out late because it does cool off at the end of the day. And I'm going to show you what I got done yesterday. I don't have much time tonight. Oh, hi, Shug. But I am going to put my zucchinis in. This is a Black Beauty zucchini that I grew from a seed. And I'm going to put them where the potatoes were that I pulled out. So you can see a lot of the potatoes are getting some of this spot on it. I'm guessing that's some kind of blight. And I went ahead and pulled some. We ate them. I mean, they're fine to eat. But I'm going to replace the space that they took up with some zucchinis here. Just 3, I think. Maybe a 4th. Oh, there is a 4th. Okay, so I'm going to put those in the ground now. And they find potatoes where I wasn't able to dig all of them. We were just digging them with our bare hands the other day. Definitely let that one get a little too dry. I'll come back and water these in a second. All right, little guy, you can have room to spread out now. And you'll get water from the rain instead of waiting for me to water you. Much higher chance of survival that way. Okay, we have 4 zucchini plants, probably planted a little closer than they should be, but I am running out of space in the garden, so they'll have to squeeze in there. This is our brand new garden area. Last year our garden went to about right there, and so we were able to extend it that many feet all the way across. Ethan and I put up this arch right here, and this year I decided that it was going to be pumpkins. If you watched my really gross pumpkin seed rescuing video, then you know we saved 13 types of seeds from decorative pumpkins from Thanksgiving, and the only ones that grew, at least this year, were numbers 1, 3, and 5. So approximately the first 2 rows are number 1, then we have number 3 here, and I think these last 2 plants right there are number 5. Sorry for gesturing with my coffee. Nothing else sprouted, but that doesn't mean that they won't sprout in the future. Could have been my fault not watering a certain tray regularly, or who knows what. So this is all that sprouted, 3 different types, and I have no idea what they are. So we'll just have to wait and see. Hopefully they will survive and thrive and do really well. I did see 1 squash bug yesterday, so I'm already on the lookout watching for those jerks. And I'll be wrapping the stems in a little bit of tin foil also. Or, man, is that country or what? It's aluminum foil, but my grandma always called it tin foil. Over here we have this surviving peach tree. This is one of the 3 peach trees that were on our property when we moved here. 2 of them immediately died, like the same summer. One of them bent in half in a storm, just snapped right in half. And the other one had such bad root system that it pulled out of the ground. But this one survived. We have cut it and cut it and cut it back as it died. You can see a whole half of the tree was cut back. And last year it made 1 peach, and this year it has an abundance. But as you can see on the ground, we've had to remove some of the abundance. I think that's why the other 2 died as soon as we got here. It hadn't been maintained properly. Peaches are kind of notorious for making way too much fruit. And I think this is actually too much fruit that I've still left on it, but I've knocked off a good 1/3. So I think I'm gonna have to come back and take off whatever else will drop naturally. But if you don't get the fruit, if you don't thin it out, these branches will just snap. It can't hold the weight of its own fruit. So you think about that for a little bit and tell me what the spiritual implications are of that. If Jesus asks us to abide in him so that we can produce much fruit, What are the implications of producing so much fruit that your branches can't even hold it? The tomatoes are so happy. They need to be tied up very soon. And then around the garden, I have planted 9 mammoth sunflowers. That's one of them. There are more throughout. Those will be food for the birds, hopefully. And maybe even some sunflower seeds for eating. Here's a few more. Now, this is a teepee that I've had here for a couple years, and I wrapped it in some netting last year, I think. And then look, somebody has gotten in here. That was a Brussels sprout, and they got in here. They broke off one of my snap peas. Here are some more peas over here. But somebody is stealing food. I can't imagine who did that. Who went under the tool and ate the peas and the Brussels sprouts. Very naughty. Most of my peas are over here. They're just growing in a tangle. That was just an experiment. And then Eli has some peas over here too. Does he have any pods yet? We have some early Italian garlic. I pulled out, see there's a space right there. I pulled out 1 head of garlic yesterday and it was looking very, very good. It was nice and fat. I think it might be able to stay in the ground a week, maybe 2 longer, to see if we can finish forming those cloves. And then this whole area right here is hardneck garlic. We've taken all of the garlic scapes. Actually, I see one, so I can explain what a garlic scape is. I see one that we missed. Oh, here's a couple. Oh, yay. Okay, so a garlic scape is when the garlic decides to send up a flower head, and it sends up this beautiful slender stem that curls around. But if I leave this, then all of the energy goes from making cloves and separating those cloves so that the plant can divide, and it changes to making seeds. And so the garlic head will never divide into cloves. It'll want to make seeds here. And so we want our garlic for the cloves. So I'm going to cut that off so it diverts the energy back into the root. Then, as you might be able to see here if I insert some footage, we take these garlic scapes and we make garlic powder. And also this year I pickled some of the garlic scapes. I don't know what they taste like yet, but I can't wait to try them. It'll be a couple weeks before they're ready to taste. All right, don't let me forget my coffee. The onions are looking really good. They were very weedy last week, and I came through and weeded some of them. Well, weeded all of them. And I might have knocked them around a little bit, so they are a little topsy-turvy. But they're looking really good. Here's yellow onion. And then here's some red up here. These ones are a little smaller. Still looking very nice. Very strong. I love growing onions. They just look like tons is going on. Here we have Brussels sprouts, a couple different types of cabbage. These were all planted by seed in milk cartons. Oh, there we go. They're starting to fold in on themselves a little bit. I've never grown a full head of cabbage. The lettuce has been incredible this year. Looks like it might be trying to bolt, so I may get a couple more picks off of that. Here are the white onions. Looks so great. And then the rest of the red, I think I continued the red over here when I ran out of space. Yeah, these have a good long time still, maybe three or 4 weeks. A lot of potatoes that did not do well. This one is looking very good. These are all white potatoes. Oh, I saw a little rabbit. Oh, that little stinker. Can y'all see that? right there. Well, that might be what's munching on my stuff. So the rest of the garlic is over here. We've also taken the scapes. These are all hardneck. We tried to see every single one. Here's one we missed. Here's one we missed. Oh, a couple. My niece, Eleanor, was helping me with this. And then I found this one type of garlic. So every year I purchase a couple heads of a new type of garlic, and I see how it does, and sometimes it's just incredible. Sometimes it's super disappointing. This one looks to be super disappointing. So first of all, the heads only had 8 or fewer cloves to plant, so I almost got nothing. This was called Zemu, I think, Z-E-M-U. Anyway, I just found 2 that I had to pull because they were looking really rotted out. They looked horrible. So I don't think that one's gonna do very well for us. All right, I'm just gonna use my fingernails because I do not want these to keep growing. I've never tried snapping off garlic scapes with my bare hands, so I'm just kind of sticking my fingernail in the side and popping off the rest of it. Can we get more? Oh yeah, so fun. These are such a treat. They are a second crop from a single clove of garlic, which is what you plant in the fall. And then where were those ones over here? Oh, there's my coffee. Here we go. So to make garlic powder, what I have done is chop these up really small. Well, okay, like 1-inch pieces. You don't have to like grind them up. 1-inch pieces, and then you put them in your dehydrator. These are really thick and full of moisture. So it took, on the highest setting, or on about 150. Come on. Oh, my fingernail's not strong enough. There we go. That's a big one. About 150 degrees. It took about 20 to 24 hours to really get so dried out that they were snapping. The little pieces were snapping in half. That's when I knew they were fully dry and ready to grind up. And then you can either grind them up and make garlic powder, or you can add salt and make garlic salt. And I've done both, and it is delicious. It does not taste like store-bought garlic powder or garlic salt at all. And it has like a green note to it that's really, really delicious. I keep seeing others. Okay, so these guys are just starting to stick their little scapes out. I may give those a couple more days to grow and then curl up. We're about 2 weeks out, 2 to 3 weeks out from picking the hardneck garlic. Since I've been out here with you, I haven't gotten anything done. I've only been looking around and admiring plants. I actually do have a couple of things that I really need to get in the ground, so maybe I'll go ahead and do that. I've got to take Ethan to work in a few minutes, so maybe I can get a couple things done before I have to take him. I found him. If I get anything done this morning, it'll be a miracle. I have something to plant, at least. Peppers, if you can see them through the weeds. I have a bunch of asparagus that is gone to fern now. And then at the very end of this row, there's actually a cross row right there. And so I'm going to pull some of those weeds and plant the okra right here. This might be a little bit foolish because that right there is where I saw that rabbit. He ran outside of the fence right there to that stand of trees right there. When I was a kid and we read Peter Rabbit, of course I identified with the rabbits, but the older I get and the more I garden, the more I identify with Mr. McGregor, and I don't even feel guilty about it. They're like, stay out of my garden, man. We're working really hard. Rabbits, unlike in the storybooks, rabbits don't wait until the vegetables are fully formed and then take one whole carrot out and munch on it, or one whole pod of okra from the okra plant. They take the little seedling and they eat it down to the ground. It's a totally different thing. We didn't get the full picture in those storybooks. So I don't love the rabbits. I may have to put out our live trap and see if I can't catch him. I'll water these in and then get ready for the meeting we have with our kids' new school. Yay, I actually got one thing done today before it got too hot.